This episode of the Kingdom of Graph is sponsored by the Autograph of the Month Club, where for just $20 a month, you can get a signed 8x10 photo in the mail. Please visit them at www.autographofthemonth.com. Use promo code KINGDOM to get a bonus welcome autograph with your first subscription to Autograph of the Month Club. Listeners, prepare thyself, for you are about to witness two fine gentlemen muse upon the fandom realm, for you have ventured upon the Kingdom of Graph. Hosted by Marco Guerrero and Michael Berkowitz.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, travelers. I'm Marco Guerrero.
I'm Michael Berkowitz.
And this is the Kingdom of Graph podcast.
Kingdom of Graph.
Kingdom of Graph. So, just want to say hello, everybody. And we're going to finish. There we go. Well, we got some sad news to start today with. Is it Jeremy Bullock passed away today? So that makes him and David Prost in the last few weeks. You know, Darth Vader and Boba Fett, right?
Yeah. The OG actors.
So we're just going to go ahead and say thank you to them and, for all the work they've done over the years. They were a staple at many, many conventions for many, many years.
Yeah, absolutely were.
But with that said, let's start into some cheery news. Disney had their Investors Day this last week. I think it was on Monday.
Yeah, it's really recent,
And so we're just going to go through and just talk about it. See what everybody thinks, what we think, give our thoughts on some of the projects and stuff that's going on.
Yeah, this will be fun. I'm excited to dive into it because there's some great stuff that they revealed.
So one of the first things that we have, I've got this website. It's from the D23 website, and they did a pretty good, thorough listing. For those that don't know, D23 is a Disney convention that they do every year, and so let's get started. So this looks like two series that are three that are actually going to be on the Disney Plus. There's a Beauty and the Beast, which will star Luke Evans and Josh Gad with new music. And I mean, not really my thing. I don't know.
I love Josh Gad. He's incredibly talented. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that series. Like if it's going to be, because I mean, okay, so we could talk about the you could call it controversial in the Disney the Beauty and the Beast live, where they had Josh Gad's character kind of out as gay, and that was such a big deal for Disney to have a gay character,
right?
And it was so funny because the lead up to Beauty and the Beast, you had these groups that were up in arms about it, and then the actual scene was like a half a second.
Yeah.
Where it just like hinted to, like, did you see that?
I did not. I mean, I saw stuff in the news. I saw stuff.
Yeah, it was like literally like a blip that hinted like that he was interested in a male character, and that was like it.
Right.
But so it's gonna be interesting if they decide to, dive more into that.
See, that's the other thing is that's the notes don't say if it's a live action or animated.
Yeah, or if it's before he's human again or after he's human again.
Right.
Is this actually going to be Josh Gad, or is this going to be animated, like live action animated Josh Gad?
Right. The next one I'm actually pretty excited for. Is Swiss Family Robinson, but directed or created by Ron D. Moore and directed by John Chu. Ron Moore, for those of you don't know, he's the one who rebooted Battlestar Galactica and brought that show Outlander to stars.
Okay.
And he was also one of the main forces in Star Trek: The Next Generation, who pushed to evolve the or not Next Generation, but Deep Space Nine, I think, to evolve it to like a more like a darker thing, because there was a lot of controversy back then of like the vision of Star Trek. You know, there was the original creator version. You know, the Roddenberry's like had a bunch of strict rules for the Star Trek universe, and then when Ron Moore came around, there was a whole generation of people that wanted to update the whole thing. And so it was very split around that time. I think it was Deep Space Nine, and he might have done some stuff for Next Gen, but I could be wrong. But Battlestar Galactica was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's a cool one. I did notice. I'm looking at the article like you are, and I did notice something. It might just be the way that they typed it, but if you look at the first group that we're going through, if you look at the title and then you look at the second group that we're going to touch on, and it says live action series. So the top one doesn't, it's very vague on what they're going, if these are going to be animated productions. And then the second grouping, the Disney Television Studios currently in production on 4 live action series.
Well, see, yeah, it's also really weird because it says 2 beloved Disney properties.
And then there's 3.
Yeah.
Or I guess Percy Jackson's not really a Disney property.
Yeah. And so that's the next one is, it looks like they're going to be rebooting the Percy Jackson and the Olympians into a series.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I mean, I actually enjoyed, I don't know how many movies they put out. I think I saw one of them. I don't know if they put out more.
I think it was 2.
It was okay. I saw the first movie. It wasn't bad. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited though. Let's get to the next one because that's right up my alley.
The Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Heck yes, with Emilio Estevez
returning to acting,
returning as Gordon Bombay. So, I mean, I'm a huge hockey fan.
Right.
The Mighty Ducks was like, so for me, I didn't have Slapshot was just before my generation. Like Slapshot's more your generation a little bit, right?
Right.
Like, did you ever see that movie?
Actually, I never saw Slapshot, but I did see the Mighty Ducks, so I think it was the same.
Okay, so Mighty Ducks is like big for me. Like, I loved it. It made me love hockey even more. It brought hockey to my because I grew up with my dad loving hockey.
Right.
So, but Mighty Ducks like really hit it for me.
Again, how old do you think I am?
Damn. I mean, you're older than Sigourney Weaver. So
I mean, Slapshot was I don't even remember.
I don't know. I was just giving you crap.
Look that
but
one up right now.
We're gonna the Marco age jokes are just gonna be a staple on this channel now.
I wasn't even born yet. That was a year before I was born.
So but Mighty Ducks, I mean, it was just not only was it cool, it had an additional like special for me because I grew up in Southern California. So not only did this movie come out, but then there was like this real team that followed.
Right.
Like it became a reality in a way. All of a sudden there was the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. And it was just so cool. And I'm like, so seeing a Mighty Ducks show come back, Desiree says, I think you're really Desiree, everybody thinks he's really old. Seeing a Mighty Ducks show come back is going to be just a lot of fun. I even do you remember the animated cartoon? Do you remember that? The Mighty Ducks. Oh my God, with Wild Wing and all the alien ducks that were coming to Earth.
I didn't actually own a TV at that time. My family.
Oh, okay.
But
so I love that cartoon show, even though it only lasted, I think it lasted like 1 season.
And FYI, I was in junior high when Mighty Ducks came out.
When did Mighty Ducks come out? What year?
92.
92. So I was 8.
So, yeah. Take that.
I was 7 or 8.
I am literally like 5 years older than you.
I mean, that's a long 5 years. Plus, you've got Jamie Lee Curtis and Sigourney Weaver that are
All right.
younger than you.
Well, on to the next one, Turner and Hooch, starring Josh Peck.
That's before me.
Josh Peck. I know that name.
Yeah.
Let's see. I just love that these are live action as well.
No, I love the fact that they're bringing back Mighty Ducks and doing a live action because that's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh.
And I can really see the way, if they do it right, the success that Cobra Kai has had.
Right.
They can have the same nostalgic effect with Mighty Ducks. Because Mighty Ducks was that movie that you didn't need to love hockey to love the Mighty Ducks movies.
Right. The one thing is also the Gilmore Girls, Lauren Graham is also going to co-star in that. That's where I know her from, I guess, Gilmore Girls. But
I would have to look at her picture. But I think, it's kind of big. There's
well, the mother from the Gilmore Girls.
Guy from Drake and Josh.
That's the Josh Peck.
Josh Peck.
He was had a kid show on Disney. He's one of the Disney kids that grew up.
Okay.
He's still pretty young, so I mean, it's got to be, like coming out of like college or training. I mean, for Turner and Hooch rather than veteran. Big Shot. All right, let's see what this one is. A celebration of girl power set in the world of high school basketball.
I don't know why, but reading that and hearing that, the first thing that popped into my head, do you remember that movie with Rodney Dangerfield, The Ladybugs, where he dresses his that kid up as a girl?
Right?
Yeah. That's the first thing that popped into my head when I'm looking at that. And it's funny because it talks about celebration of girl power, and that movie was kind of that, I guess. But that's what popped immediately into my head was that Rodney Dangerfield movie.
It's got John Stamos.
Yeah, John
Yvette
Stamos.
Nicole Brown, which she's from Community, if I remember right.
Who did she play? Is that Britta or is that somebody else?
No, somebody else.
Hang on, let me look it up. Yvette Nicole. Oh, it's the African American girl from Community. Oh, she's so funny.
Yeah.
She's hilarious. That's a good one. All right. And then this Mysterious Benedict Society.
All right.
Never even heard of the book series.
Shaw is in it. She's super funny. Tony Hale.
I know Tony Hale.
Yeah, I don't know who Tony Hale is.
Tony Hale, hang on. I know him. Let me tell you what he's from. Tony Hale,
I know from Veep and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kristen Stahl she's super funny.
Is Tony Hale the voice of Forky? That's what I'm thinking of? Hang on. Let me see. Yep, Tony Hale is the voice of Forky from Toy Story 4. That's where I was thinking of him from.
So yeah, Kristen Stahl, she's got that like weird voice. She was, she does the voice on Bob's Burgers. Yeah. She was the co-star in The Last Man on Earth, pretty much.
Oh God, I wish that show was that was such a good show. But the comedies that make you feel weird, like that make you feel like awkward, right, they just don't seem to have that staying power. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's just there's so much to watch out there nowadays. I mean,
oh God,
look at this. I mean, we've gone through 7 things out of here, and how many of them do we want to watch? I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, this one's going to be on the back burner. Big Shot will be on the back burner. I don't think I'll watch Turner and Hooch. I'll watch the Mighty Ducks for sure. I'm definitely going to watch Swiss Family Robinson, and Percy Jackson I'll probably watch as well. But I mean, I've got to watch all these because I got to know what's going on.
Yeah. For me, it's Mighty Ducks and Beauty and the Beast with I'll give Percy Jackson a couple episodes to see if it's good.
Mhm.
But Mighty Ducks and Mighty Ducks obviously for me is the top one there. Beauty and the Beast more because Kendall's Belle is Kendall's favorite Disney property.
Nice. I have a really cool Belle autograph from the Disney, and where she's like covering the rose or something with like it's like a whole thing.
I wish Kendall was here because Kendall could go into a whole story about why Belle is the best Disney princess based on, you know, when the movie was made and women empowerment and stuff like that.
Mhm.
How strong of a female Belle was, you know.
All right, Desiree. Just because she asked, I'm gonna have to watch Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
Oh. You better watch Beauty and the Beast. All right. So, or do we want to go through these? I'm not a big National Geographic.
Now to put Desiree on the spot, Michael.
Uh-oh.
She's never been to New Orleans. Lives near it.
Desiree. Wait, hold on.
She lives near New
Desiree
Orleans.
Lives.
She's never been to it, but drove by apparently. But
Desiree, Kendall and I have a goal that by the time that we retire, we will have a fall home in New Orleans. We will have basically a condo in New Orleans.
That's what I tried to tell her, man. I tried to tell her it's an amazing city. I mean, the food, the atmosphere.
The magic. It's just literally magic. That's why you and Marco and I have talked a lot on this channel about Vampire Diaries and the originals.
Yeah.
And the reason I love the originals is New Orleans, because it really does. Like, if you're there when you're watching the originals and they talk about how New Orleans is a magic place,
mm-hmm.
like it is, like there's an energy.
Yep.
It's brilliant.
Live music at every restaurant.
Oh yeah. I just walk down, what's the street?
Not Bourbon Street.
Frenchman Street.
Frenchman Street, yeah.
Walk down Frenchman Street. Go to Bourbon Street once.
Yeah.
Stay there for about 15 minutes and then get the hell out of Bourbon Street.
Stay away from a lot of like the tourist trap type places. But I mean,
and then walk down to Frenchman Street and just walk and just absorb. And then duck into a bar and listen to the old white dude playing harmonica in the bar. Like, oh, it's just incredible.
It does have a lot of similarities to Nashville in that sense, where there's just music.
I do want to go to Nashville.
But all right, well, back to our D23. I just wanted to tease her a little bit with
because I know she said she'll come visit when we have the vacation home.
I just know you and Kendall are huge fans of New Orleans, like I am. So
we're gonna go. You know, I keep an eye out. I would love to go to I'm not a big fan of Creation, but I'd love to go to a Creation Vampire Diaries Originals convention in New Orleans. I just think that'd be such a cool thing to do.
Nice.
All right. So are we going to touch on National Geographic or what?
Nah, I kind of skipped over that.
Yeah, I'm not if you're a National Geographic person, all the power to you. I'm not a National Geographic. So Kendall will be happy to know that The Handmaid's Tale has been renewed for a 5th season.
Yep. There's also some Hulu content coming out. Steve Martin and Martin Short unite together and joined by Selena Gomez. Only Murderers in the Building. I don't know. That's a pretty insane cast.
I saw this also. This American Horror Story is going to move to Hulu because I think it's on Netflix right now.
Well,
or they're just making it available.
Well, FX does, but FX is bought out by Disney with the Fox deal.
Okay, yeah.
And so there's a lot of FX shows, kind of like you have Why the Last Man that are coming out. Looks like Reservoir Dogs, American Horror Stories.
So American Horror Stories is actually a spin-off of American Horror Story. And if my memory is correct, it's going to be like more Twilight Zone style where it's one-off episode stories.
I don't know. It doesn't say. These are it's just saying slate.
No, I'm tapping into what I write because anybody again that knows Kendall and I knows that we are massive American Horror Story fans. Like it's one of our favorite shows on TV.
Nice.
So that's
Well,
right up our alley.
here's another one. Nicole Kidman will star in Nine Perfect Strangers
Yeah, I saw that.
with David E. Kelly. David E. Kelly just came out with a really cool one called Big Sky.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
It's like 6 episodes. It is phenomenal. If you guys haven't watched it, check it out. It's on ABC.
That's the one about the girls who go missing, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you don't
Yeah.
want to spoil too much, But
I haven't watched it. I just know the girls go missing.
Oh yeah, it's got an amazing cast.
Okay.
And I guess it's based on a series of detective books. This woman who drops out of the FBI Quantico training program and
Okay.
becomes a detective.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's going to be really cool.
That's awesome. Let's see.
Then we're
I'm
gonna go down.
excited about Always Sunny. I'm actually way behind. I'm way behind on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. However, that is Always Sunny in Philadelphia is, interestingly enough, it's my workout show. Back when there were these things. So before COVID, there were these things called gyms, and a gym is somewhere you'd go and you'd share workout equipment with people.
Yeah. Well, we remember we have our Uber gym coming.
Oh yes,
Our Arnold
gym
to
in a trailer.
go, gold
Arnold
to go,
gold on the go.
gold on the go.
Gold on the go, the gold standard gym on the go.
Just tap in your address. We'll show up with a mobile gym. You can work out. The next one's actually one I'm super excited for is Alien.
Yeah.
And the guy who's doing the writing and directing for this is phenomenal. He's probably one of the hottest, besides Tiki, or what's his name?
Takai Waititi.
Takai Waititi. He's probably the next in line. He did Legion and Fargo, the Fargo TV series. And Legion on FX.
I think how many seasons were there of Legion? There were 3, right?
2, maybe 3.
I think there were 3. I'm on season 2. Season 1 was phenomenal.
Right.
It just did such a good job to make you feel like you were a mental health patient.
Yeah. And you know what's funny that links both of those directors?
Huh.
The Clements dude from Flight of the Conchords.
Okay.
Because remember, he plays the guy that ends up taking on Legion at the end. The guy, the Moon Man, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So the next one, another one is The Stones, which is about the Rolling Stones.
I never watched it.
And then adult series, the retelling of James Carville's beloved James Clavell's beloved saga Shogun, set in feudal Japan. I love period pieces by FX.
All right.
For that, yeah.
I mean, for that, I'm excited. So again, I'm behind on Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but I like that it's still going. That show's now gone on for so many seasons, and it's just, to me, Always Sunny in Philadelphia is like my generation's kind of Seinfeld, or this generation's Seinfeld in a way. And then I think an Alien, with the movies that recently came out, like Prometheus and stuff, I think a show in the Alien universe is actually a really good idea.
Well, supposedly it's supposed to take place on Earth.
Oh, cool.
Is what I heard.
That would be great.
Talking about Always Sunny in Philly, I don't know if I've told the story about the time that Danny DeVito put a hit out on me.
What? What?
Yeah, Danny DeVito put a hit out on me.
Okay, what's the story?
All right, so it's the Always Sunny in Philadelphia panel at Paley Fest, right?
Okay.
They're all making their way out to stage. I'm in the front row, up front by the stage, about not too far from where they come on. And that night, the Portland Trailblazers were playing the Los Angeles Lakers, and he's a huge basketball fan, huge Laker fan.
Yeah.
We talked for about an hour after the show about what it was like trying to watch all the games and not get spoiled back in the day. But so he comes out on stage and he's like, "What are all you motherfuckers doing here when there's a Laker game on?" And I yelled, "Go Blazers!" Like probably 6 feet from him. And then he goes, "Will somebody kill this motherfucker?"
That's awesome.
And so at the after party, we were hanging out and we were just talking. And one of the cool things was like when he would shoot, on location or like in other states and stuff, and he couldn't watch the game, he would have all the games taped and sent to him, like on VHS. And so nobody was allowed to spoil the games. Like,
oh my gosh,
he wouldn't watch any news. Nobody was allowed to talk about any of the Laker games. No newspapers, no nothing. Like, until he got to sit down, put in the VHS tape, and watch it.
That's so good.
And then he kept threatening to tell me the score of the game if I didn't pay him.
That's so funny. That's what I think one of the reasons I enjoy him and Always Sunny in Philadelphia so much is it really reminds me of shows of love, kind of like Con Man, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where the five of them are like best friends and they enjoy their characters and they enjoy making the show and it's fun for them. It's not a job and they push to continue to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just you get that from that show, and I love that in shows. All right, so we're hitting the Star Wars.
Well, hold on. I want to show you one thing. Give me 1 second.
I swear to God, if you pull up a picture of a cast signed Always Sunny piece right now.
No, I was to show you the me and Danny DeVito.
Oh, you got a photo of you guys together? Do you have a cast sign Always Sunny piece from Paley Fest? Oh, that's so good.
There we go.
I love it. That's so great. That's so good.
I actually have a picture of me with all the people from the cast that night.
Oh man, that's awesome.
But yeah, it's just a little guy.
So you do, don't you? Though you have like a cast sign Always Sunny.
Probably at least some Paley books or something like that. Yeah, I don't
killing
know.
me. You always the stuff you have, the envy of the things that you've gotten to do.
Like I said, 99. A lot of the stuff people don't even talk about that I have.
I know it's crazy.
Let me go through my garage and see what I can.
The conversations that we have off of this podcast are just the things that you're like, yeah, I probably got something like that somewhere. Ugh.
All right, so like you were saying, Disney,
right? The big Star Wars batch is up.
This is not just Disney, but Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
So we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is going to bring back. I think the big news was Hayden Christensen will be returning as Darth Vader.
Yep. And yeah, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen reuniting.
Right.
I think that so you and I have talked about this before. I think what's happened is this online world of opening up and basically creating an 8-episode mini movie.
Right.
Like what Mandalorian does, what Cobra Kai does. You have an 8-episode mini movie. You shoot for what? A couple of weeks, maybe?
Oh, like a couple months. Yeah.
Yeah. But you shoot
usually an episode is 7 days, 7 to 10 days. But these episodes, I would actually give them a little bit more because they're almost filming a movie every. Yeah, because like a 2-hour movie is usually like a 3 month film time. But like TV, that's what was the problem with Game of Thrones, is that they were making like full blown movies in an hour.
That's one of the things that I like.
In a 14-day schedule.
I like, and I hope more studios do this. Have you noticed? So are you up on Mandalorian? Like, are you watching it actively?
I was waiting until it finished up, and then I was just gonna.
They did this. So they did this without spoiling anything, and this doesn't spoil a thing. They did this in the first season too. Have you noticed how some episodes is a 40-minute episode? Right. One episode will be a 28-minute episode. One will be like they tell the story that they have to tell, and they don't constrict themselves to an episode time.
Right. I did notice that there was some odd, timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk about a little bit more about the timing come the Marvel, because come January, March, and April.
Okay.
There's going to be a very specific thing to that timeline that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
But yeah, so So we got Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen are definitely Desiree, not probably, but definitely going to be in this one. This is now canon.
Yep, it's now confirmed.
And so they have the Rangers of the New Republic and Ashoka. How do you say it?
Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka Tano.
So
where's the T come from?
It's just
Ahsoka.
you have to be able to speak that language.
The last name is Tana.
Yeah, Ahsoka Tano. So I don't think I could say her first name without saying Tana is the problem. So here, you knowing studios and stuff like that, okay? Do you think that they knew how good Rosario Dawson was going to do with the character, that they greenlit this show well before this episode ever aired?
Well, I mean, you've got to look into her work, and again, they probably cast her with the idea that this character was going to be a tie-in character. See, this is the other thing, that when it comes to Marvel, if you watch the announcements closely, there's a new character that's going to tie all the movies together of the fourth thing, and I want to talk about that and who that character is.
Okay.
But she could be the character that ties together a lot of the Star Wars stuff.
It could be her, because I was just talking, Kendall's brother was actually over to have lunch with us today, and we were talking about it. And again, I know that you're kind of waiting, but you have to know by now that Ahsoka Tano is in this season of Mandalorian.
I saw like some photos.
Yeah, so I 100% agree with you, because they don't mention her at all. She's not dead, obviously. They don't mention her at all in this. Like, Luke doesn't mention that she's still around in the new Star Wars movies. There's no mention of her ever. Yeah. So she has to be this like driving Jedi force. That it was interesting, because they talk about how the last of the Jedi and everything like that, but it's not. Ahsoka Tano is still out there.
Well, I mean, last of can imply multiple.
Yeah, the last like group.
Yeah.
So she's still out there.
So then you have the Rangers of the New Republic, Star Wars Visions, which I think is like a behind the scenes thing or something, maybe.
So Rangers of the New Republic is going to be what I believe they're going to do with that. Right? What was that?
Clone War stuff?
No, I think Rangers of the New Republic is actually going to be a spin-off of Gina Carano and the other. So in one of the first episodes this season of The Mandalorian, there's a guy, I forget his name.
The Bill Burr character?
Is that the actor's name?
He's the comedian Bill Burr, bald guy.
No, not him.
Okay.
Oh God, what is it? Hang on, gotta look it up. Stand by.
All right. Well,
you can keep talking.
You know, another interesting one is Patty Jenkins, who did Wonder Woman, the movies, doing Rogue Squadron. So that'll be interesting, and it's going to be a film rather than a series. But what I'm super excited for is Willow.
Yeah, Willow. People have been asking for another Willow for a long time.
Yeah, they showed
a very long time.
They cast 3 young women for it, along with Warwick Davis. But I think it's like the girl, right? Mm-hmm. And then like I think some other people. I have to look at the roles, but basically it's going to center around like the girl when she's in her early 20s, maybe.
So I was thinking of Timothy Oliphant.
Oh, okay. He's amazing.
Yeah, he plays a ranger, kind of a ranger. He's like a sheriff in this town.
And every single show he's on.
Yeah, his characters really enjoyed Gina Carano. They made her kind of a ranger sheriff character. Yeah. So this season has had these characters that they've introduced as like law enforcement, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I kind of can see this Rangers of the New Republic kind of being like a Star Wars officer show. You know what I mean?
Right.
I could be completely wrong, though. So if I'm totally wrong, don't quote me on it. Now, Lando, that's another one that stands out to me.
Well, hold on. We haven't got that far yet.
Okay. Keep going.
We're still Rangers of the New Republic.
You jumped to Willow, bro.
Well, it's because you were looking something else. So I just saw Willow and I was like, you know what? I'll talk about Willow while he's doing his thing. So then we have Andor, which looks really cool. It's the one guy from Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
The Bad Batch, which I think is an animated series.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
A Droid Story. Again, I think that might be animated. Lando and the Alkalite. I don't know what the Alkalite is.
Don't know, but Lando. So are we talking? Is Donald Glover getting his own Star Wars show?
See, I don't even know if it's going to have Donald Glover. I know the director. They announced the director, but they didn't announce the actor, and so maybe it's because they're assuming it's him. Let's scroll down a little bit. No.
Did you see Solo?
Yes.
What did you think of Donald Glover's Lando?
Thought it was awesome.
I agree.
Guy's a genius.
Donald Glover is one of my favorite people just on the planet. He is such a good person, and he's brilliant.
Right. Atlanta is the show is insanely good.
So good.
So
his character on Community was ridiculous. I mean, he's just such a talented person. And now this could just be internet rumor or internet trying to stir up buzz, but with all of the talk, we're kind of might be jumping ahead a little bit, but all the talk about Spider-Man 3 and the Spider-Verse that they're creating by bringing Tobey Maguire back and bringing Andrew Garfield back, and there's rumor that Emma Stone's also going to come back, but as Spider-Gwen, not as Gwen Stacy.
Right.
So the rumor that they're bringing all these back. Well, now the latest one is that they're actually trying to bring in Donald Glover as like a older Miles Morales.
Well, okay. I don't think that'll be the case because in Spider-Man Homecoming, was it Homecoming? Mm-hmm. With the dance, or what was it, Spider-Man that he was in?
Homecoming or Far From Home?
I think whatever one was where he was at the dance. High school dance.
Where Donald Glover was?
Yeah, whatever. Donald Glover's character, right?
Yeah, it was Homecoming.
Is Miles Morales' uncle.
Oh, okay.
So if you've watched the animated series.
But here's the thing, though. That is true for this, but if they're introducing the Spider-Verse, then they could have Donald Glover come back in as a Miles Morales from another universe.
Well, he'd still be Miles Morales' uncle.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, but Miles Morales' uncle, like if you watch the Miles Morales Spider-Man movie, his uncle was a villain in that.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he was the one that was working for Kingpin.
Okay.
And they end up having to battle each other at the end, and he ends up, whatever.
Yeah.
But that character is the character played by Donald Glover in Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting. I don't think they'll have him be Miles Morales. So, because I think they also want to make Miles Morales a lot younger than Donald Glover.
Yeah. So going back to the Star Wars after Willow, they announced that they're going to have another feature film, Rogue Squadron.
Right. That was the Patty Jenkins thing.
Yeah, the Patty Jenkins one. And then they announced that oh my God.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, what's his name is coming back?
Harrison Ford
coming back as Indiana Jones for a 5th time.
Yep, and directed by James Mangold. Let me look him up, see what he's done. Logan,
while you're looking,
the Wolverine, Ford versus Ferrari. So that's some pretty good stuff. I mean, Logan could have been better. The Wolverine.
Would you consider at this moment Taika Waititi the most powerful writer director in Hollywood?
Oh, well, he's my favorite. I don't know if he's
my favorite.
Yeah.
But I think that he has reached. So rewind several years when Joss Whedon and Adam Abrams were, or not Adam, what's his name? J.J. Abrams. They were like the cream of the crop for a while, right? You had the two of them, top echelon. They're picking up every DC property, every Marvel property, Star Wars. They're doing it all. The two of them, right?
Right.
They're top of the top. That is Taika Waititi right now.
Right.
Taika Waititi is the man that people are looking at.
Well, the stuff that he's been doing with Disney quite a bit. Like he came in, he directed the finale of Mandalorian last season.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the best episode by far.
Yeah.
And he wrote, and just what he's doing, him bringing the Thor movies to life.
God,
the first two were good, but the third one was insanely good.
I said it before. Ragnarok, still, with all the Marvel movies that have come out, and there's been some amazing Marvel movies, Ragnarok is the most perfect Marvel movie that's been made.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know what Children of Blood and Bone is.
Don't know either.
He's going to be directing it.
Yeah.
And it's a Star Wars feature. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be, I've never heard of it, but it'll be interesting.
It's a best-selling novel.
Mm.
So let's look up the novel. From 2018. The young adult book. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll get back to it later, maybe.
Yeah, we'll get to it later. So let's get to the big, because now we're about to hit some other big ones.
So this
is the one. This is the one that Kendall is most excited about. We finally, after not just years, decades of waiting.
Well, almost 30 years.
Official announcement of Hocus Pocus 2. I mean, I would say that that's probably the biggest news that they dropped in this entire thing. An official Hocus Pocus 2 announcement.
I'm going to have to rewatch that one. It's because I haven't seen it since it came out. So
how do you not watch it every Halloween?
I don't know.
It's like the movie.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, an official Hocus Pocus 2 announcement after years of teasing and fan posters and fan art. You finally have an official announcement from Disney that it's coming.
We'll have to do a special episode with Kendall.
Oh yeah, you can bring Kendall. We should just have a Bette Midler episode with Kendall and let Kendall just talk about Bette Midler.
There's a really good Mondo print out there of Hocus Pocus.
Oh, I have to work with you on trying to see that. But then we got some reboots of Three Men and a Baby and Cheaper by the Dozen, which is interesting. And actually, to me, the one that pops out, and I actually loved these movies, is Sister Act.
Right.
I love Sister Act. Talk about Sister Act 2. You have arguably the debut of one of my generation's best singers ever, Lauryn Hill. I mean, Lauryn Hill's voice is still legendary. So Sister Act coming back, and the fact that they got Whoopi Goldberg, not only starring Whoopi Goldberg, but then they brought in Tyler Perry as well.
Yeah.
So
Tyler Perry as Whoopi Goldberg.
You could just do why don't they just bring in what's his name? They could bring in Eddie Murphy and what's the other
Arsenio? Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence, there you go. Just bring in all the we'll just call it Sisters Act.
Speaking of I can't wait for the new Coming to America movie.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
You know what I was actually talking about and playing with, looking up reaction videos for was Meteor Man.
Yeah.
The other day, you ever see Meteor Man?
Yes.
I was like, you know,
Oh, the comment people got excited in the comments here about Hocus Pocus 2 and Sister Act Lauren Hill if Medea doesn't make an appearance. Oh yeah, Karen's waiting. Karen's upset they didn't announce Nightmare Before Christmas too. You know, you got to get Tim Burton has to be involved, and that's the thing.
you know what it is? I think they should call it Nightmare After Christmas.
There you go, Nightmare After Christmas. Just don't even have a. Well, you know, it's funny you say that. You talk about they have a sequel coming out called Disenchanted, which is a sequel to Enchanted.
Right.
So instead of doing like a 2, they just called it Disenchanted.
Well, that was what was clever about the Alien movies. It was like aliens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good. So we got.
Well,
now,
I did hear that because Johnny Depp has been having some issues finding roles, you know, with the PR stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they did announce that Robert Downey Jr., his next Sherlock, is going to have Johnny Depp as the villain.
Oh, that could be good. I've heard that. I think I heard after Dr. Dolittle did so bad for Robert Downey Jr. that he was actually in talks with Marvel to come back as Iron Man.
Could be.
I don't know if that's rumor, but basically he kind of realized I have a good thing here. And, you know, comic books, you can bring people back.
Yeah. I mean, you always have flashbacks and timeline stuff. And, well, I mean, you can
look
be
at
also,
Loki. We're going to get there. Let's talk about, I mean, Loki can bring anybody back. But
let's go through these real quick because these are kind of Chippendale Rescue Rangers, hybrid live action. That's kind of like what we were talking about last week with Sin City and Roger Rabbit.
The way I see these next 3, the Chippendale, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, this is going along Disney's. We're going to take our original products and make them live again.
Right.
So they're just redoing it as live action. Nothing special there. Disenchanted is the most exciting thing about that.
Talked about it a little bit too with Nick last week about these streaming services digging for properties.
Yep. So that's what they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're just trying to give you a new vision of it.
Right.
So on this next grouping, I think something that pops out to me right away. So we've known about Jungle Cruise, we've known about Cruella, we've known about Lion King, we've known about Little Mermaid. Nothing new there.
Well, Night at the Museum. You skipped something important here.
Night at the Museum.
Well, Night at the Museum. Because let's see, is Patrick going to come back in that one? Because he was in all of them.
Yeah. So are they going to talk to Patrick Gallagher again about throwing on those? If you guys haven't seen that podcast, throwing on those stinky gear.
So I'll have to ask him if he's heard anything about it. Because
yeah,
I don't know. Is some of these, the way they're written is kind of weird. So the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, this month's signer. Well, I don't want to spoil too much there, Jason. But
are we talking about January or December?
Last month, December.
Oh, okay.
But you know, she's in that series, so I wonder. So yeah,
is the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild? Is this still? Because Ice Age isn't a Disney property, I don't believe.
I thought that was DreamWorks.
Yeah, the DreamWorks. So what is
DreamWorks?
This is something different.
DreamWorks was Universal.
I don't know. I think so. So this is not related to the Ice Age movies.
Yeah, Ice Age.
I like Simon Pegg though. I really enjoy Simon Pegg a lot.
All right. And then a bunch of prequels, so I guess Jungle Cruise, Cruella, Lion King, Little Mermaid.
Yeah, and then they're pulling the same thing they did with Mulan with Raya and the Last Dragon, where if you want to watch it early, you can pay $30 for it on Disney streaming, Disney Plus.
Hey, it works, man. I had like 12 people over who were visiting at the time when Mulan came out, and we all got around it. I have the 125-inch screen projector.
Yeah.
Do that up there in 4K, for $30. And not only that, but I own it now too. So it's not like you're just renting it. It's like unlocked on my Disney Plus forever.
They're coming for you right now. Or were you playing something?
Do what?
Were you playing something? All of a sudden I heard like a plane flying over
Oh
my
no,
head.
there was a huge plane that just flew by. I don't know from where, but
I was
I'm
like, they're coming to take Marco. And they're
I'm
on the way.
surprised that kept up. Then you have a bunch of animated Disney stuff, Zootopia, Hyena, Moana, Baymax.
Tyena's the one from
The
Prince and
New
the Frog.
Orleans one,
The Prince and the Frog,
yeah,
or the Princess and the Frog.
Princess Louisiana, I guess I should say.
Yeah. I'm excited about those. I mean, who doesn't like Baymax?
Right.
Moana was great. So Zootopia was hilarious. So those will be fun. I mean, to get animated series from those properties is great.
Now here's some controversy in this one.
Which one?
Lightyear.
Okay, what's the controversy?
Well, they're having Chris Evans voice Lightyear instead of Tim Allen.
Oh.
A lot of people were like, "Why are you replacing Tim Allen?"
I didn't know that they were replacing Buzz Lightyear.
Well, he will voice the Ranger hero on his journey from the beginning to the most famous Ranger ever. Maybe they wanted a younger voice, or
maybe it's the person who these figures were based on. I don't know.
Well, it says will voice the hero on his journey to becoming the most famous Ranger ever. So he becomes Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah.
So it means he is Buzz Lightyear.
It's like a solo version of the Han Solo.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
More Pixar. Now the Marvel Studios.
Yes.
Miss Marvel. This is what I was hoping you to watch earlier. The scissor reel. What's really cool what Disney's doing, right? It's kind of like what Netflix did when it started getting a lot of money. Yeah. They would go to countries and start financing original productions in those countries, right?
Yeah.
So in Miss Marvel, it follows a Pakistani teen from New Jersey, right? Mm-hmm. But all of the writers, all of the directors are Middle Eastern Pakistani descent.
Yeah.
And so again, it's a play to kind of boost Marvel's recognition in that area. And they have another show coming up as well. And they did the same thing. I think the new Five Rings. Well, I don't think it was that one, but we'll get to that. But
I mean, they're just about to blow up the Marvel universe on Disney Plus. Is what they're basically what they're saying. Like, they're not gonna. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is about to explode.
It's insane.
I mean, it's literally about to explode. The fact that you just look at the next paragraph. You've got Samuel L. Jackson's going to have his own show. You're going to have they're bringing Ironheart into the Marvel universe. You're going to have Don Cheadle is going to have his own show. I mean, then you've got Loki and the ability of who knows where the WandaVision show is going to go, but the Loki show just opens up bringing back everyone.
All right. So, do you remember Captain Marvel, right?
Yes.
Remember the little black girl that she visits?
Yeah.
So that character grows up, right?
Mm-hmm.
To become the world's greatest inventor. She takes over Tony Stark's role, and she's going to be the star of Ironheart.
Yep.
She's also in the next Captain Marvel movie. She's also in Miss Marvel. She's also in Marvel or in WandaVision. She is the new Tony Stark that's going to tie all of these shows together. So right there, she's in 5 different properties that we know of.
I think that she's going to be big in that. And I also, based on what I've read, I think that Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange, is going to be huge in tying the Marvel Universe together as well.
Well, I think he's a bridge.
Yeah, because he's going to be so involved in Spider-Man 3.
Right.
And he's going to be, obviously he has his own movie, which between Loki, Spider-Man 3, and Doctor Strange's movie, you possibly are going to at some point see Kang come to some kind of form.
Right.
So, I mean, it's really that you're right. His is more of a bridge. It's going to be really interesting though.
Yeah,
It's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's like his storyline is like a mini series setting up the next generation. Like
it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really interesting.
But Arbor Wars has got a feature, what's her name as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think she's going to be huge in all of these.
Could very well be.
Okay, now this is what we were talking about, the little 6-episode mini movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have in January, WandaVision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in March, which I think is going to be like 6 or 8 episodes, right? Then you have in March, after WandaVision's over, you're going to have the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is a 6-episode mini movie.
Yep.
Right, and then after that, you're going to have Loki, which is like a 6 or 8 episode, arc as well. So, and they all tie together. So they're going to go from one into the next one, into the next one, right? And then you can have all of these. Then, like, it's just going to be insane.
Yeah.
And one thing I guess that's not on here is the new Ant-Man and the Wasp movie.
Yep. They talk about that in the next paragraph where they announce Ant-Man and the Wasp and Fantastic Four is officially announced.
Right. But did you know, right, they recast Cassie Lang and it's going to be Catherine Newton.
They
from
did?
Freaky Friday. And
I did not know that.
Yeah, she's now going to take over the Cassie Lang role.
Oh.
So, because she's like Hollywood's hottest young actress right now.
Interesting.
And so they're bringing her in. The villain supposedly in that is supposed to be the next Thanos.
In Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the next villain. The next big bad is supposed to be King the Conqueror.
Yeah, and he's going to debut in Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think.
Yeah. So
they showed the actor who's playing him.
They actually said that he may show up in Loki because he's created basically from the time travel. So Loki, he actually may have an appearance in Loki, but his the first appearance will be Loki, but the first actual big appearance might be Ant-Man and the Wasp. It'll be interesting. I mean, but you've got look at this. I think out of all of this, so you got the Black Widow movie, you've got Shang-Chi, you've got all these that have been announced before. Some of these aren't that new. We knew Blade was coming. They already announced that.
Right.
But I think the most important thing that they talked about, and I think, really good, we're at the Marvel part. I mean, we're not going to talk about ESPN Plus. I think we're at the pretty much the end of the podcast here. But I would say the most important thing that they kind of announced is they kind of confirmed what everybody hoped, that Shuri is going to take over Black Panther.
Right.
Because they said they are not recasting it. So that kind of says that they are going to bring in Shuri as Black Panther, which I think is really important. And if you are lucky enough to have one of the comic books of that story arc, congratulations, because it just went skyrocketing through value.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of stuff that's coming is just going to be
mind blowing,
and
it's
quality.
Mind-blowing. Yeah, not that the amount of money that Disney is pouring into this is unfathomable.
Well, they make it back in,
Oh yeah,
it's just
they make each Marvel movie makes their money back 100-fold.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, so I mean, out of these, obviously, I'm most looking forward to Thor: Love and Thunder. I think that's going to be brilliant.
One of the things, this is the other thing I wanted to bring up too. She-Hulk.
Oh yeah,
they cast probably one of the best actresses in Hollywood right now. She doesn't get a lot of credit, but she was in Orphan Black. Have you seen Orphan Black?
I have.
She plays every character spot on, perfect, and so different that she'll be on screen with 3 or 4 different versions of herself, and they all are their unique character, and it's believable.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, her skills accents, everything. I don't know. She's just incredibly impressive. Tatiana Maslany, I think it is. I'm horrible with names, but her as She-Hulk is gonna be cool, and that one's gonna be one of those shows, I guess, that's gonna be tie a lot of stuff together. Because she plays a lawyer for superheroes type of thing, so there's gonna be a lot of cameos.
I think I will say I think that we can say Marvel does a really good job of bringing in new people, like new talent, but at the same time bringing in um seasoned people that play a role really well. They do a really good job of mixing that together.
One of the other things, you know, um, that they announced with the She-Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
that Tim Robbins is coming back as the Abomination.
Ooh, okay.
And for years, that was the Universal Hulk that was played by what's his name? What is his name?
Which one?
The guy before, um,
And
he was in American History X. He was in
oh,
Edward Norton.
yeah, Edward Norton.
So that was the villain, from Edward Norton's the Hulk, the Abomination. So
That wasn't Universal. That Hulk was I'm pretty sure that was Disney, and Edward Norton was supposed to be the Hulk, and then he had a huge falling out with the
the directors, because he basically took over directing that movie.
yeah, it just went bad, and so
That's why
that's
he's
just
kind of been blackballed from Hollywood.
and it's interesting that it's interesting that what's his name has never really gotten a Hulk movie. Mark Ruffalo.
Well, he's in talks and they want to, and I think they're working on Planet Hulk thing.
Yeah.
It's just Hulk is a weird one because he doesn't really fit in to like the universe. He's kind of like one of those, like
he needs somebody to drive him. Like that's one of the reasons that Ragnarok was so good is you had Thor driving Hulk.
right.
And that and like Hulk was so good in the Avengers movies because of Black Widow.
And he's just OP. He's so overpowered that they had to basically come up with like
They had to make him scared.
scared to like turn into the Hulk just to add him to the movie. You know what I mean? Like it's. But you know how I was talking about like Miss Marvel and the Pakistani line and a lot of the directors? They're doing the same thing with Moon Knight in Egypt.
Okay.
Moon Knight's coming, and it's going to have a very Egyptian feel. The iconic is very, and a lot of the directors and writers in that will be as well.
Yeah. I think like I said, the amount of stuff coming, it's an exciting time for fans.
Did you ever see the Star Wars holiday special?
Are you worried about the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
Oh, not at all. I think it'll be awesome. They said they're going to film it at the same time they're filming Part 3.
That's awesome.
Like they're going to film them together.
Yeah. And then the Groot movie. I'm Groot.
Animated series, isn't it? Like shorts.
Yeah.
Like
anyway, it's the amount of stuff is going to be incredible. But
see, they didn't even talk about Spider-Man in any of this stuff.
They don't need to. They've done. I will say here, this is a perfect thing to end this podcast with. I think, and I will argue this with anybody, and I'd love to see what your opinion is. I think that this Sony Marvel drama about the contract and not wanting to do it, and then Tom Holland pleading to bring it back and wanting to do it and wanting to extend it and blah.
Well, they just signed a 3-picture deal today.
It was all a marketing ploy bullshit. Both Sony and Marvel knew from the get-go that they were going to make another Spider-Man movie. I don't think there was any drama between the studios whatsoever. I think it was all fed to the press to build up more drama and hype because of the fact, if you look at what happened. Spider-Man 2 comes out, Far From Home. It has this cliffhanger ending. Anybody, we need your button. The spoilers afoot. Anybody who hasn't, we need that. But anybody who hasn't watched it,
are afoot.
Spoilers are afoot. Cover your ears, pause or skip ahead, whatever. Mute it for a second. But when he's outed as Spider-Man at the end of movie 2, and then a week later they come out and be like, well, we don't know if we're gonna make a movie 3 because we have all this drama with the studio. Bullshit. It was all, and it worked. People freaked out. People panicked that they weren't going to make another movie, that Marvel wasn't going to do it. And it worked. And I think that they have the Spider-Man franchise, and this deal between Marvel and Sony has played the media like puppets so incredibly well. And you look at all the announcements, right?
Right.
The Tobey Maguire, the Andrew Garfield, the Emma Stone, the what's her name? The first Mary Jane. Look at the media is feeding is somehow getting all this. They are getting free publicity from the media for Spider-Man, and it's out of, like, you can't scroll anywhere and not see somebody talking about Spider-Man 3.
Right.
And how excited they are to bring this Spider-Man. I mean, they've done this perfectly. And now they're bringing back Molina as Doc Ock. They're bringing back Jamie Foxx as Electro. I mean, this is going to be an Avengers level movie, this Spider-Man 3 movie. It's going to be insane.
Well, I heard today, I was reading somewhere that they'd reached a new deal for three more.
Yeah, they may have. But I think that the entire media thing about how they hadn't reached the deal and it might not work and all that stuff, I think it was all BS. That's just my personal opinion. I think that Disney Studios and Sony Studios played the media like a fiddle. And they bought it. The media bought it. The public bought it. And I was sitting there the entire time, and I'm talking to my nerdy friends, and I'm like, relax. Spider-Man will happen. It's going to happen. This is all BS. And what do you know? It comes out. Hey, we're still going to make the movie. We got a new deal.
Right.
So, anyway, we've gone a little bit over, but we always do.
I mean, we don't really have a time limit on these. Before, we had time limits because actors.
Yeah.
But... All right, guys. Thank you for watching, listening. And again, I'm Marco Guerrero.
I'm Michael Berkowitz.
And this has been The Kingdom of Graph.
This episode of The Kingdom of Graph is sponsored by the Autograph of the Month Club, where for just $20 a month, you can get a signed 8x10 photo in the mail. Please visit them at www.autographofthemonth.com. Use promo code KINGDOM to get a bonus welcome autograph with your first subscription to Autograph of the Month Club.